Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Nicasia and I am a graduate student in a speech language pathology master's program. Today I'm going to be telling you guys a story of how I got into grad school. I am a student at NYU's speech program, the online speech program, and I'm just going to be talking about how I even got there. And also I'll be getting ready, so I got all my little makeup stuff in front of me. I usually don't wear makeup, but I feel like doing so today. So we're gonna get this done. I always want to film this video, but I feel like I need to get ready to film the video, but I don't have time to get ready then film the video. So we're gonna film the video while getting ready. Let's start at my undergraduate career. I went to Hunter College and I got a bachelor's in psychology there. And while I was at Hunter, I wanted to do physical therapy, but there's no physical therapy program or major at Hunter. There is a program, but it's a graduate program. There's no undergraduate program or major for physical therapy at Hunter College. So I did psychology, and then I did psychology because that was one of my interests. And while I was at Hunter, I took the prerequisites for speech. I took this prerequisites for physical therapy, like grad school. After graduating from Hunter, I realized that, well, while at Hunter and after graduating, I realized that I did not do so good on those prerequisites. Prerequisites include anatomy and physiology, physics, okay? Physics. Those were the main ones. Those were the main crazy ones. And chemistry. And then also psychology and statistics. So after I graduated with my degree and I noticed that I don't even have the great grades in my prerequisites for PT school, I decided... What's up?
No, it was the poorest reheating instructions ever. It was ice cold.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, so put it to 350 then.
Already heavy.
Alright, sorry.
I had to let your viewers know. I had to let the viewers know.
He's trying to violate me. Because I told him, we don't have a microwave. So I told him to put the lasagna in the oven at 250 degrees. And apparently it's still cold. So he's gonna put it up to 350. I think I was at the point where, okay, so I've graduated, I have my prerequisites, I have my degree. I'm looking to apply to maybe PT school, but I realized that my grades are so low that I'm not gonna get into PT school. I'm gonna waste time and money applying to PT school. So I decided not to apply. And I thought about it like this. Like, I'm gonna have to retake the prerequisites for physical therapy school, and then I will have to, and that's gonna take a while. Like, there were some programs, like post-bac programs that I can go and take the prerequisites over, but it was just gonna take so long that I was just like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to be a PT for the rest of my life and stuff like that? I was just really contemplating. I decided to take a year off. So from 2018 to 2019, I didn't go to school. I was just working from like summer 2018 to summer 2019. So okay, so I decided I'm not going to do physical therapy. I wanted to do something that involved working with children because I really love working with children. And I wanted to do something that's related to therapy. So I was thinking maybe I can become a psychologist, a child psychologist, because I already have a psych degree. Maybe I can do some other kind of therapy with children. And so I was looking around, like online, probably typing into Google children's therapy, like what's in there. And then I came across randomly an ad actually for NYU's speech therapy program, and I was like, what is speech therapy? I had no idea what speech therapy is. Like, maybe I've heard about it but never really knew what it was and even considered it as a career for myself. So I start researching what speech therapy, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty interesting. This is cool. I still don't really know what it is actually. I put in my contact information into NYU's website to be contacted by an admissions counselor to find out more information about the program. So they sent me basically a little blurb, a little paragraph situation about what the program is about, what is required, what speech therapists do, and things like that. And so I was reading it, I was pretty interested, and then I got like phone calls from one of the admissions counselors, and so she was talking to me about the program, asking me if I'm interested in applying and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in I'm interested in speech therapy and like what it could be, like what is it and stuff like that. But I don't really know much about it, so I need to do more research before I apply, because I don't know if this is necessarily something I really want to do. And I didn't want to just apply to anything that I didn't really want to do, because I already decided not to do PT because I didn't feel the passion in my heart to do it. So, and the fact that I had to retake the prerequisites, and it could take 1 to 2 years to retake all the prerequisites for PT, and then like I just didn't have the motivation or the passion to even do that, much less like go through PT school. And it's very, very difficult, you know. It's a doctorate program as well. And so I was just like, I don't really feel like I have the passion that's going to help me to stick through that program. So I now, faced with like making a decision about applying for speech therapy, I was just thinking like, I need to do more research. And this was around January now of 2019 that I had gotten a phone call. I actually got a phone call in the fall of 2018, but then I got another phone call from the admissions counselor in January of 2019. And so here we are at January of 2019. I actually go home to St. Lucia and I visit my siblings and my father, who lives in St. Lucia. And being with my siblings, just being around younger kids, made me realize like how much I really love working with children. And this is just really what I want to do. I want to work with children. At this point, I was working at Trader Joe's, and I'm working with adults, and working with adults and serving adults, but I want to work with children. I want to work with children. I want to serve children. I want to help children. So I really was energized by going home, of course, seeing my family, and also my siblings are younger than me, so it was really like, it really made me think like, this is what I need to do. Like, I need to just work with children because it makes me feel good. I love being around young children. And so I decided to look more into the program, and I did. And I realized like, oh, speech therapists, they work with children, and it combines a lot of the things that I like to do, which is like I said earlier, I was looking for something that relates like children and therapy. And here's speech therapy, where you can work with children, you can work with very young children, you can work with anyone at any age, from a young baby to an older adult. So, and the more I learned about speech therapy, the more I was interested in it, because I was like, wow, I could do this. I could work with children, I could work with adolescents, I could work with young adults, older adults, the geriatric population. I could work with all these different populations. And I was just getting so excited. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I looked to see like, what do I need to be able to apply? And what I need is these prerequisites that I never took, because I took psychology, as I said before. So I had no prerequisites in speech therapy at all. Like, I had no like anatomy of speech. I had no linguistics class, phonetics class, like neural basis of speech, none of that stuff. So I would have to retake all these classes. And so I was looking into what can I do. I can go back as a undergraduate student and do a second bachelor's in speech therapy, and then go ahead and do the graduate, like apply to grad school. So I was just trying to figure out like, what is it that I have to do? And I felt myself more motivated to do whatever it took to be able to become a speech therapist. I was like, okay, so it might take 1 or 2 years before I can go into grad school, and then I can become a SLP. And so I just was motivated, basically. I was really motivated to do speech therapy. I was really excited about it. Like, I was willing to do what it takes. Unlike when it came to PT, I was just like, man, I can't believe I'll have to do this for 2 years. And then I was just more excited about what speech therapy had to offer and what I could do as a speech therapist. And I felt like I'm really interested in learning sign language and learning other languages like French and Spanish. And I just felt like speech language pathology was like, here is this domain or this scope of practice that includes like, you can do research, you can work with different age groups, you can focus more on language, you can focus on more on voice, you can focus more on speech, you can do augmented communication, like you can do, you know, those little computer things that speak for you, speaking devices. There's so much you could do. You can work with the deaf population and learn sign language and speak with them and communicate with the deaf population and help them in different ways. And I was just like super excited. NYU is one program that I was looking at that allows you to apply for the graduate program without having any prerequisites. You can apply for their graduate program and they will allow you to take the prerequisites for speech therapy and then matriculate into taking the master's graduate courses. So I was like, yeah, I want to apply to this, because if I apply to this program, I could just take the prerequisites and then I can start taking the graduate classes, and it'll be way faster than going back to a CUNY school and majoring in speech therapy and taking the classes like in that way. So what I did was I applied to all the CUNY schools that have a speech therapy undergraduate program. My decision was between Brooklyn College and Lehman College. So I was going to decide between one of those to go to. And then I actually got into both of those schools. And I also applied to NYU's program. And I was hoping that I would get into NYU's program, like I said, because I would only have to take the prerequisites for 1 year, and then I can just start taking the grad courses. But if I went to Lehman or Brooklyn, I would have to major in speech therapy or communication science, which is what it's called. They call it communication science as the major. Okay, so I applied to NYU's program. I applied to the CUNY colleges. I got into the CUNY colleges, but I was holding off to like accept that until I knew that I got into until I found out if I got into NYU or not. And honestly, I want to make a video about my experience taking the GRE, because that was a crazy experience, and I have some tips on like what websites to go to and how to study, how much time you should study, and how long did I study for it, and like what was my score. So I'll make a separate video about that. And let me actually backtrack. Something that was difficult for me to do applying to NYU was going back. Remember, I took a year off from between graduating from Hunter and now applying to a graduate program. So I had to go back and ask for recommendations. And thankfully, NYU's program only requires you ask for 2 recommendations. So I went back to a professor of mine who was my mentor for my psych honors, and it was a very good professor of mine. He's amazing. He like writes really good recommendations, and he's a really well-known professor for the research that he does. So he wrote me a recommendation, which was very, very nice. And then I had to ask another professor for a recommendation, and it was really hard. You know, it's really hard for me because I'm a really like quiet, shy person. I don't really talk as much in my classes, and that's something I really need to grow out of right now, especially being in grad school. But yeah, so it was difficult to go back and ask for a recommendation, because like, who knows me? You know, only my professor. Thankfully, I fostered a relationship with one of my professors, but I needed 2 recommenders. So I went to another professor who had like a 1 credit class. I think it was a 1 credit class. And she thankfully was able to do a recommendation for me. But, you know, don't give yourself more options, basically, is what I'm saying. If I could do it again, I would make sure I had at least 3 or 4 professors that I had good relationships with, who knew my name, who I did well in the classes, and they were ready to give me a recommendation when I was ready to apply for graduate school. I only had 1 professor basically, and then I had to go ask another professor to do to write me a recommendation. So now we're at the point in June. I got an email actually. I got an email saying, sorry, you did not get admitted into the program, the master's program at NYU. And I was like, oh man, I'm so sad, but I guess I'll just go to Lehman. And I'll just do speech therapy the long way. Like, I'll just go ahead and take the classes, and you know, I'll figure it out. The very next day, it was a Sunday that I got that email. The very next day, on Monday, I got another email saying, congratulations, you have been accepted into a, what was it called? Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. I'm going to find the email. I'm going to put it up on the screen, or I'll put up like what it was called. But basically, NYU accepted me into a program where it's like pre-masters basically. So it's a prerequisite program, and they said that and then they explained the program. They said you've been accepted into this program where you would have to take the prerequisites for the master's program, and if you maintain a B or higher in all of your classes, a B, a 3.0 average, and got 2 recommendations from your professors while in this prerequisite program, you will be matriculated automatically into the master's program. So I was like kind of confused, because the day before they said I did not get into the master's program, which was true. I did not get into the master's program. I got into the prerequisite program. And so it was like, well, that makes sense. I have no prerequisites to get into the master's program. So thankfully, they accepted me into the prerequisite program. So I decided to accept. NYU costs so much money. I'm going to also do another video about scholarships and like how to pay for grad school, how I'm paying for grad school, and basically just showing you guys the research that I've done. I think it'll be helpful, because I definitely try to go to videos first to see if someone has done the research and made it all in one video so I can just watch it. So I'll do that for you guys to share the information that I found about some scholarships, because I'm not eligible for all those scholarships, but maybe I can share it and then someone watching the video will be eligible to apply for that scholarship. I accepted their offer for this program, this prerequisite program, and then during the first semester, which was fall 2019, last year, we started the program, and me and like the cohort, we started the program, and they told us halfway through the fall semester that we were all automatically going to be matriculated into the master's program, and that we wouldn't have to ask for 2 recommendations. And now basically we were in the master's program but taking prerequisites. So before, I was in the prerequisite program, not fully in the master's program, but now halfway through of fall 2019, they told us you are now in the master's program, but you're just taking the prerequisites. So it was kind of funny. I'm glad I accepted it, because I ended up automatically matriculated into the master's program, which I am currently taking the graduate master's courses, and I'm in my practicum 1 sequence. So that was pretty nice. So I automatically got into the program. I actually do want to talk about my academic scores when I was applying to NYU. So for my GPA, I had a 3.25 overall. I had a 3.8 in my major GPA for psychology. I got an average score on the GRE. If you want to know what exactly my score was, watch my next video. I don't know if it's going to come out next or just my next like school video, where I'm going to talk about my GRE scores and talk about my tips and like what was my experience, basically my GRE story. So I'll save that for another video, but just know that I had an average score. It wasn't like super amazing or anything like that. It wasn't also bad because I may have not gotten into the program if it was really low, but it was just an average score. And as far as extracurricular activities, I was on the tennis team while at Hunter College. I used to be a leader in one of the clubs on the campus, and yeah, I also worked and went to school at the same time. Okay, so for my essays for NYU, they require you to do like 3 essays, like one personal essay, and then one personal statement. And they ask you to also do like 2 smaller essays. And so for those essays, I kind of talked about like my experience as someone being from St. Lucia, and being an immigrant who was naturalized here and adapting to the culture of New York, and like basically my experience as someone who came from a different country here and the challenges that I face. And I also talked about like my experiences at work. Like I worked at Trader Joe's, and like, you know, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded individual, and I talked about how diverse I was as a person. And how I would bring that to NYU's program. And then I also talked about how being a speech therapist was like my dream. My personal essay, I talked about how speech therapy is like combines all of the things that I'm very interested in, and how I am going to become a speech therapist, and I hope that NYU will be a part of that story. So that's what I basically talked about. Definitely when you're writing your personal essays for grad school, like make it true to yourself, look for like a larger story, try to tell a story basically, and yeah, be confident in yourself as well. And I'm glad that I got into the program. It is very expensive. I feel like that's my only thing that I can say about it. But you know, while I was at Hunter, I did not accumulate any debt. So that is my entire story of how I got into NYU's program. I didn't even plan on doing speech therapy when I graduated, and I didn't even know about speech therapy when I graduated from undergrad. But here I am in my practicum 1 sequence of my SLP journey, and I'm very excited, and I'm excited to share the story with you guys. And also, if you're looking to apply to speech at NYU, you can ask me any questions about the program down below. And also, now you got to see like someone who got admitted to the program, what is like my scores, and like what's my academic and extracurricular experience. And yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys like it. I'll see you guys in the next videos. I'll be doing vlogs about a day in the life as a graduate student. I can actually do a day in the life as a wife, as a new wife. So yeah, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.